Yes. We are back in class to discuss primary science still. And the presenter, you can see on the screen the presenter and details. If you want to reach him, he's in Uganda, that's why I have 256. Nicholas Atwine, you can reach him on YouTube channel. That is how you can actually access. So today we are going to discuss fish, and remember we are classifying animals according to common characteristics and features. So we are discussing fish, which is a group of vertebrates and are called braided. We are starting with characteristics of fish, and fish live in water. That's the first characteristic we shall take. Fish live in water. Secondly, they breathe through gills. Others, we looked at mammals breathing through lungs. We saw reptiles using lungs to breathe. But this group, they use gills to breathe. They lay eggs which hatch into fire. And remember, before we leave this point, they stay in water, therefore they breathe in dissolved oxygen. That's the oxygen they breathe in. They lay eggs which hatch into flies. These are flies. They lay eggs which hatch into flies. Then those are young fish or young ones of fish. Then still their eggs are fertilized by male from outside the female's body. This is a point. This is a point we need to understand. Mammals have internal fertilization. Reptiles have internal fertilization. Birds have internal fertilization. But these ones, the fish have external fertilization, meaning females will lay eggs, then males will come shedding sperms over those eggs. That's why we say they have external fertilization. Most have scales on their body except cuttlefish. It is only cuttlefish that do not possess scales. They have fins for swimming and protection. That's the role. Then they are called braided vertebrates. Why are they called braided? Their body temperatures change with the surroundings. They feed on plants and animals in water. That's what they feed on. We got the structure of a fish. It's amazing. I think we have ever seen a fish. We have ever eaten, many of us. This is the structure of a fish, whereby it has caudal fin or tail fin. It has this anal fin. It has this pectoral fin. It has pelvic fin. It has gill cover. It has mouth. It has nostril. There is this eye. It has dorsal fin. Then it also possesses a lateral line. It is clearly indicated on this fish. This lateral line. We are going to see functions of each part. We got functions of parts of a fish. We start with eyes. They are ever open, and they have no eyelids, and they are meant to see. The mouth is used to catch food. Only some fish have teeth. Some fish, there are some with teeth. The body of a fish is protected by a thin but hard coat of overlapping scales. It is protected by overlapping scales. The lateral line I had to show you lateral line of a very small the lateral line is a line of very small pores or holes that sense water movements and vibrations. As human beings have ears, fish have a lateral line to sense danger in water. Fish use gills to breathe. We have seen that. They don't have lungs. They suck water through their mouth and breathe out through the gills. They just open mouth, then water enters. After it has entered, it is ejected through gills. Then fins are used for swimming and sometimes for protection. That's the role of fins. They are made of skin and tiny bones of cartilage in. Fins come in lots of shapes and sizes. They are of different shapes and sizes. The dorsal fin is a spiny, hard fin that helps to keep fish upright. That's the role of dorsal fin. Pectoral fin helps fish to move from side to side. Then for pelvic, we have seen where pelvic is located. It helps a fish to move up and down. Those are parts. Then here we have types of fish. Whereby we have bony fish, we have cartilaginous fish, we have lungfish. These are types of fish. 3 of them. We start with bony fish. Examples of bony fish are Nile perch, tilapia. I think we are using tilapia because there are many. When you are in a country like Uganda, have herrings, have trout, have salmons. Those are examples of bony fish. They have no eyelids, that's one. They have swim bladder, which keeps them buoyant in water. Class, there is a point we need to master here. The role of swim bladder. This, we have urinary bladder, we have swim bladder, we have gallbladder. But this is a swim bladder found in fish, which helps them to float on top of water. So don't confuse with this one when they say gallbladder. Think of gallbladder as an independent entity. But this is a swim bladder which keeps fish buoyant in water. Gills are protected by gill cover or operculum. That's the role of gills, rather what protects gills. Their bodies are covered by overlapping scales. Those are bony fish. We got cartilaginous fish. Their skin is tough and shiny. They have gills, gill slits instead of gill cover. Remember, gills are meant for breathing. Then gill cover is meant to protect gills. They have mostly cartilage instead of bones in their bodies. We know some parts on a human being where we find the cartilages, like nose, like ear. So most of them are like ears, are like nose. They don't have swim bladder, meaning we have seen the role of a swim bladder that it keeps fish buoyant or it makes fish float on top of water. But for cartilaginous, they don't have swim bladder. Examples, we have dogfish, we have skates, we have rays. We go to lungfish. They breathe through gills in water and by swim bladder. When gills cannot supply enough oxygen, they use gills. And when gills fail to supply enough oxygen, they opt to swim bladder, whereby swim bladder will regenerate, will supply enough oxygen. Remember, fish breathe in dissolved oxygen. They live in dirty pools, swamps, or rivers. They have long and thin pelvic and pectoral fins. They hibernate in dry seasons. If it is a dry season, they will have to go and hide somewhere where they can access dirty pools or mud. Examples, we have common lungfish or mamba. Then we have Neoceratodus, we have dipnoi. These are lungfish, examples of lungfish. We got breathing in fish. How do fish breathe, class? Members, fish breathe in dissolved oxygen. Sometimes they pose a question that what type of oxygen does a fish breathe in? Then you are like, really, do you have types of oxygen? Yes. Dissolved oxygen is the mode of oxygen fish breathe in. Water containing oxygen moves through the mouth and passes out over the gills, which absorb the oxygen in water. Water will enter the mouth of a fish, then gills will just absorb oxygen, then water will be ejected out again. Gill rakers. We have gill rakers on gills. and gill rakers are meant to trap solid particles or dirt to prevent the damage of gills. Had it not been due to the presence of gill rakers, gills actually would be getting damaged time and again. But we have gill rakers which are meant to trap solid particles from actually prevent it from damaging gills. Gill bars, we also have gill bars which are spread out and they prevent interlocking. They prevent gills from locking themselves. That's the role of gill bars. Gill filaments are made in order to give large surface area, absorb enough oxygen from water for respiration. So that's the mode of breathing. That's how a fish breathes. You must know that it breathes in dissolved oxygen. You must know the role of gill rakers, gill bars, and gill filaments. This is the diagram showing gills of a fish. These are gill filaments. You can see this is the first layer, second layer, third layer. Those are gill filaments. You have seen the role. Then gill rakers, we have seen also the role of gill rakers. You can see the sequence of them. How are fish adapted to living in water? What makes a fish live in water successfully without some challenges? First and foremost, they are streamlined. Their bodies are streamlined. And they are streamlined to help them move in water easily, hence reducing water resistance. Fins help fish to move in water and stop it from rolling. Fins give stability to a fish. That's another adaptation. They have gills for breathing in oxygen from breathing. And remember the mode of breathing, they just allow water enter. After entering, gills will just absorb oxygen, dissolved oxygen, then water will be ejected. They have lateral lines to detect sound waves or danger. I've told you that lateral line is similar to ears in human beings. Their scales and color provide protection. They may ask what helps them protect themselves, because these scales will provide protection to them. Its slippery scale protects it from predators. They are slippery and helps them in reducing viscosity. That's friction in water. So they are slippery. You may try to hold it using your hands, but due to the fact that they are slippery, it gives them chances are so high to make them slip off from your hands and go back to water. Some have electric organs which give out high voltage of electric shock to its enemy. Some do have these electric organs, so some use electric organs to protect themselves. Some fish inject poison into their enemies. That is also another mode of protection. Remember, we are looking at how fish are adapted to living in water. Then uses of fish, they are kept as pets in aquarium for decoration. Their bones are used to make glue. They are sources of employment, e.g. those who sell, those are fishmongers. They can be used for research and learning. Some are used as medicine. So that's what we can discuss on fish shortly. But fish, you must master that fish are undercold-blooded and they are adapted to staying in water because they have streamlined bodies, and you need to master the type of oxygen they breathe in. You need to master the role of lateral line. You need to master the role of different types of fish, parts of a fish. Thank you so much for today's session with me.